I think I was also quite strong-minded as well. So I did operate on my own path. So I wouldn't listen to crazy diets, or if people said, "Oh, you need to lose a bit of weight," because that's like obviously there's a lot of, especially in French cycling when I was there was a lot of eating disorders and shit like that, it's just like this obsessive being skinny. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're so tired you can't go training. You haven't eaten I haven't eaten for 3 days. It's like it's just bizarre. And it's funny enough. I actually the whole nutritional tactics that we're seeing now, as far as just eat as much as you can. That's basically what I did my whole career. Like from the start, so I figured out that just from trial and error, I was like, wait a minute, if I eat lots, I can train really hard and I seem to get skinnier. If I try and diet, I always put on weight. So I was like, I'm just going to eat what I want when I want. And then that's basically, yeah, now the whole sport's kind of gone that way. And I think that is also why I kind of got an analytical brain that I've worked out how my body worked best kind of on my own. And I was like, just analyzing stuff all the time, just thinking, okay, if I do this, this works best for me. So if I do and yeah, I mean, also lucky to get forward into the Garmin teams. I think they were scientifically very, very strong. We were ahead of the game as far as you see the team time trial performances, nutritionally very well, very good. And we were, that's why earlier in my career I was I could have as much success as I did, because we were massively ahead of the game, especially as far as nutrition and getting all this carbohydrate in you, whatever that we're seeing now.
I remember when I was out in France, I was out with a DN2 team, and we used to call it these like FBI raids. The director would come through the door unannounced, but he wouldn't be looking for anything nefarious. He's looking for croissants and he's looking for baguettes, because we lived above a bakery. So he'd be going through all the presses looking for croissants and baguettes. And we used to put them into like a plastic bag, put them into the washing machine, and then pile dirty clothes in on top of them to hide all the croissants from him. But it was that, like, you were constantly in fear of being fat. Like, my first experience on a French team was meeting the director, and he literally pinched my stomach, and he's just like, okay, yeah, good. And it's like, this is an eating disorder packaged, ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of, I remember when I won the time trial in Val d'Aosta, literally one of the road captains of the race and the team, and he lived there. He wasn't in the race, he just lived there. And he's like, oh, imagine how much you would have won by if you were skinny. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, literally, I won. Like, literally, it's just an obsession. It's like, and even to this day, I mean, I won't name names, but one of the teams I was in lately, like, I go to the doctor at the first team meeting, and I literally sit down. And by the way, they've changed now; they're not in cycling anymore, so it's not really that big a deal. But it just shows that it's still prevalent in some aspects of cycling. This is only a few years ago. And they start in October, November training camp. They start talking about weight, and they're like, "Oh, so what's your race weight?" And I stood up to them. And I was like, "What does it matter?" And they're like, "Oh yeah," but I'm like, and I can't remember how the conversation went, but it got down to me asking the question. Well, so what's better? What, in your view, Doc? What is better? Being skinny, like super lean, and getting dropped, or being 5 kilos overweight and winning the race? And they genuinely couldn't answer the question. They're literally like, they were stunned. It was like, I'm like, and they're like, it wouldn't be possible to win if you were. I'm like, no, answer the question. And they couldn't answer it. They were like, because in their eyes, it was like, it was almost like they were saying, no, it's much better to be lean than winning.
Yeah.
At least you look the part, and it's like, wow, that's just like it. And yeah, I mean, it's this whole, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole rabbit hole. We don't need to go down, but it's that's just culture. But it demonstrates well. I was surrounded by guys who were going through eating disorders, and I just managed to somehow just blank it all out and do my own thing and ignore people completely. I'm like, no, I'm going to eat as much pasta as I can today because we've got a big stage tomorrow.
But that's a commonality you see in a lot of athletes. Like, I've talked to, not just cyclists, but other athletes who have achieved massive success in their careers. And some of them, a really interesting one is Olivia O'Toole. She's the record ever Irish goal scorer on the female team. She scored more goals than Robbie Keane, the female team. But she came from a really difficult background in working class Dublin. Almost all of her friends and family were addicted to heroin. at an early age. Really difficult time growing up in Dublin in the 80s. But she talked to me about how she had to build this bubble. She constructed this purposeful force field around herself, where she said, I'm going to be the greatest ever Irish women's football player, no matter what happens. And it's like anything toxic just bounced off this force field that she built for herself. You see this time and time again. That's obviously an extreme example, but you've done something similar with constructing this force field around toxic attitudes to insulate you to create that success.
Well, even as far as I think definitely as I got older, I grew in confidence in and would just do what I felt was best for me, and taking control of my own destiny and my own career like that. For example, going out and actually buying an energy drink that actually worked well for me. And that's what and make into this end having to make my own bottles before stages, because I'm like, no, this is better than the team drink, so I want to drink this. And I mean, the last 5 years of my career, I basically never had a massage because I found it just didn't do anything for me. I felt my legs felt better just through circumstances. I had a few stages when I was we'd get to the hotel at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, and I'd be like, I can't be bothered going for a massage. I'm just going to go dinner and go to bed. And I'd wake up and have amazing legs the next day and be like, wait a minute, my legs felt better without massage. So why would I? So I'm going to try it. So I tried it over a few days, and and I was like, I don't have massage at home either. So why would I suddenly go to a race and suddenly have some guy pounding into my legs? I ended up not having massage and felt a lot better for it. And funnily enough as well, and this is only something that I've figured out since I stopped. I did started 19 Grand Tours during my career. I did 9 with massage, 10 without. And of the 9 that I did with massage, I got sick 5 times, maybe even 6 times. Of the 10 without massage, not a single bit of sickness. So, coincidence possibly, but I mean, it's kind of and it just, looking back now, I'm just I just stood up for myself, and it actually worked better for me, and it's it's stuff like that, it's just taking control, and as you say, that hard-headedness, but it also takes a lot of people, get sucked into this whole, you're kind of expected to have massage, and there's guys oh, why? And you feel like you're putting a guy out of a job almost, because it's the guy who's supposed to be working for you is oh, and I'm just well, no, I just don't feel good off it. So it's nothing personal. I just,
If you enjoyed this conversation, please click up here. There's another video I know that you're absolutely going to love. Click over here and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our amazing upcoming guests.